Saturday morning, 5:30. I've been up for, I don't know, at least a half an hour already. Um, and I really want to recommend the recent Tim Ferriss podcast with Andrew Huberman. Tim Ferriss is sometimes very hit and miss. Like a lot of the conversations are, to me, are not very interesting. But some of them are really, really, really good, depending on who the person is he's talking to. And this week, he was interviewing Andrew Huberman, who is some neurobiologist. Apparently, he's also very, very popular on the internet. I didn't know him before. And what Huberman describes is the scientific reason why some things that I sometimes did when it comes to waking up and, feeling energetic. He described why these things actually work. Because very often I'm tired in the morning and then, I try to stay in bed a little longer and then I get up and then I take some caffeine and, and the day is kind of like not working too well. And whenever I get up in the morning, doesn't matter when, maybe it's 5 like in the morning or 4:45 like today, and then I just put some shoes on and walk outside for 10 minutes, my day is so much incredibly better all day, energy-wise. And he explains why that is. I'm not going to go into it. You have to listen to it yourself. And it was very fascinating to hear why that is, and so that there's a scientific reasoning for that. It has to do with light, has to do with other things like your minimum body temperature, or something like that. But yeah, it's now 5:30. I feel really good. Yesterday was the same. I didn't even have my usual afternoon nap, and I don't know how long I was going yesterday, maybe from 6 in the morning till 11 at night, straight through, including biking and rehearsal and all that kind of stuff. And if you are regularly tired and lacking energy, really, you have to listen to this podcast. And maybe there's something in it for you. I would be very surprised if there wasn't. The real weird reason then becomes that your habits, and including, I'm saying this about me now, but probably with you it's the same. Your self-concept and your habits are such that you're so used to being tired and low energy that you'll be at a loss and you don't know what to do with the energy and the time. I noticed this with myself that, all of a sudden the day is like 6 hours longer because I get up 2 hours earlier. I don't nap for an hour in the afternoon, and there's still 2 hours in the evening that I have energy. So that was 5 hours, but doesn't matter. It's much longer, and the self-concept and the the habits are such that you really are confused by the fact that you really feel good. At least that's what happens for me. And if you're the kind of person that I just described, that can't get out of bed, that has energy crashes all day, then listen to that podcast. It's very, very valuable. And yes, I'm very aware that people constantly say, yes, but there are different types of people with different life rhythms. It has nothing to do with that. I mean, it kind of does, but it has nothing to do with when you wake up, but how you stay with good energy. So it's not about if you get up at 11 or if you get up at 6 in the morning. It has nothing to do with that. So if that was your first thought, oh, I'm a night owl, I can't get up early in the morning. You don't have to get up early in the morning. That's not the point.
FaderCast.
Yes. I forgot to say that yesterday the new Lord of the Lost record hit the number 2 spot in the German charts, album charts, that is, which is very cool. We were kind of hoping for something like that. We is obviously the band and everyone surrounding the band who is in some way involved or friends of theirs or something like that. Because with Lord of the Lost, you can really notice the momentum that the guys have gotten over the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, where just things are running smoother. They have more and more fans. The tour is getting bigger and bigger. So Eric and I were actually looking the other week. We were actually looking at who was releasing last week and this week, to see what our prediction was. And I actually said it could go number one. And it was number one until some guy who I never even heard of, Danger Dan, I think that's his name, Danny Danger, I don't know. He overtook them. Anyway, this is a massive success. And it's really a testament to what the guys have done, because of all the musicians I know, they're definitely the hardest working, by a long shot, and they're also some of the nicest. You also have to keep that in mind. When they did the 10 years of Lord of the Lost concert in when was that? 2019. Jesus, that's almost 2 years ago already. Yes, when they did that, I don't know how many people were there. 20 guest singers, something like that, a bunch of people. And one famous festival booking agent asked, how on earth did you get all these people together on one date, on one location? And Chris rightfully said, we've been trying to be nice to everyone and get along with everyone, which they totally have. So this kind of thing gives you the support of your community, which is the whole goth scene music-wise, and the fans, which how can you say that? They kind of feel if what you present outward is real or fake. And I mean, nobody's always nice, that, but the general mindset is to try and be cooperative and get along with people, help out other people, be helpful to each other. And then stuff like that happens where you get on a roll and your stuff gets a good momentum going. And obviously with a lot of work that they put in. So this is much deserved. Congratulations from my side again. I'm very happy about it for myself, obviously, because I wrote one song, so it's a cool thing for me. But like with Eisbrecher, I have absolutely nothing really to do with the success of this album. It's just a song, but it's cool. I'm very happy for them.
FaderCast.
Friday morning, 6:30. I just came back from a little morning walk, and today's going to be a long day. Roman is going to come to my place at 8 o'clock, and then we're just going to pack stuff into the van, which has been delivered yesterday already, which is good. So the van is here already. Pack stuff into the van, drive by some guy who has a light, what do you call that? Light desk. I don't know. It's called Grandma, I think. Pick up the light desk, drive over to West Germany, pick up like 10 massive lights. Luckily, we have a big van. And then go to the venue. So we should hopefully be, if everything goes really well, we should be at the venue around, well, too early actually, 2 o'clock. So go to a hotel, check in quickly, go to the venue at 3. And then the light engineer Henry is going to come there and set everything up. Then do sound check. I have to talk to the merch lady because our regular merch lady is not coming. So we have someone else from the area and from the club, and talk to her about basics. But I already texted her a few times, and she seems to be on top of things. So that seems to be taken care of. What else is there? Then sound check, dinner at 5:30. Schäuber will be sound checking, I think, at 5 or something like that. And yeah, then hopefully back to the hotel if everything is running well at that point. Oh yeah, talk to Xanti about camera stuff because we're filming with 5 cameras. Roman will be doing audio recording with recording everything, so hopefully this is usable so we can do some live stuff, like put out some live stuff that looks well and sounds well. What else is there? Talk to Xanti about that, but that's the camera stuff isn't that difficult really. And yeah, go to the hotel, freshen up, come back to the venue for like, I don't know, 8 o'clock, 7:30, something like that. Say hi to friends because as always, there's friends coming to the show, but really, if you know me, don't come to my shows unless I invite you or something, but don't ask me to come to my shows because I have no time for it. I have zero time for you. You can call me anytime, hang out with me, no problem. But at my shows, right now it's 6:30 and I'm talking about what I'm going to be doing at 7:30. So then 8:30 is the show, which is probably 90 minutes, a little more than 90 minutes. And yeah, then it's 10 o'clock and there's like a super hard curfew. So if the music is still running at 10:01, the police or whatever you call it, the local authorities will shut down the music because COVID stops, gets really dangerous at 10:01. Oh, it's so silly. Anyway, yeah, then just relax a little. Probably go to the hotel as fast as we can, because there's no, because since this is like a circus show, it's inside of a circus area. They don't have a big shower bathroom area, whatever. They have normal bathrooms, but go back to the hotel, freshen up there, and if I'm still alive, we will all be heading over to Spencer's place, who lives literally 5 minutes walk from the hotel, and we will hang out there for a while, but I'm not sure I'll be able to manage that because it's gonna be like the rehearsals, the 90-minute rehearsals in the morning. They were pretty easy, like not easy, but manageable. But I was done for the day. But 90 minutes at night, let's see how that goes. Obviously, if there's audience, there's a lot more energy. So I'm pretty certain that it'll turn out really well. Anyway, long day ahead. I'll give updates from along the day, maybe. Right, Sunday, 2:15 in the afternoon. Yeah, I had absolutely wanted to do little updates on Friday during the day, but there was absolutely no time. I was so busy all day. So I'm going to just do a full quick recap, as quickly as possible. We wanted to start, I don't know, Roman was supposed to be here at, I don't know, 8:15, 8:30 or something like that. But he was early. He was literally there by 8, which for me is fine. I like it when people are a little early. So we did all our things and arrived on schedule, despite some traffic, on schedule at 2 o'clock at the hotel. But unfortunately, I didn't get more than maybe 20 minutes to shower and relax, because first I got a call from my booking agent, and apparently the Jan from Plusved, who was not the local organizer, but like one of the booking guys, he got all hectic because some people called that they can't make it due to rain problems and whatever. It was completely useless information. And I told my booking agent, come on, I have better things to do right now than to worry about someone else being worried about nothing. So that was one conversation that took like 10 minutes out of my break. And then I needed to warm up for my sound check, so the vocal warm up had to be done, which took another 20 minutes, obviously. And yeah, it was cutting my 40 to 60 minutes a bit short, but that's okay. At that point, I already felt my voice was strained from talking to Roman on the van for maybe 4 or 5 hours over the van noise level. And that's something people don't understand, is that for me, it's really not that hard once I'm in shape, in singing shape, which I am now, to sing and scream for 90 minutes, maybe even 2 hours, and be pretty good, fine. But then the problem really is yelling over club music, or when you sit in the car and the van is loud and you speak for 4 hours, then you're basically not focusing on the technique, and that really fucks with your voice. So I was already feeling that, but yeah, the vocal warm-up went fine. And when we drove to the hotel, I told Roman, what's going to happen now is that from now till the end of the night, there won't be a second where there's not going to be someone who wants something from me. And he said, why? What is there to, I'm not going to ask you anything. What is there to know? And he later said, oh, I lied so much. I lied that Roman said he himself lied when he said that, because apparently, I don't know, we had at least 5 or 6 situations where he came to ask me something. And he was probably the most organized person on the whole crew. So there's constantly, in situations like this, there's constantly someone asking me something, because, and this is a bad organizational problem, because I'm the only person who really knows all of the details. And the reason for that is that for a show like this, there haven't been proper rehearsals. There haven't been, setup days or something like that. 4 people on the crew were completely new. The light guy was completely new. Roman was pretty new. And Yannick and Raphael, who were on stage with Jörg and Joe and me, they were also there for the first time. So when you have so many new people, the thing you should really do is you should do 1 full day of, dress rehearsal. But of course we didn't do that because there was no time and absolutely no money to do that. Everyone's super spread out over Germany, and so my job was to inform everyone as well as possible beforehand. We had Zoom meetings and stuff like that, but there's only so much stuff you can write in a PDF and talk about on a Zoom call. So I was very well aware that every second that I wasn't talking to someone else would be coming and asking. That's how exactly how that went. And so when we arrived, the first people I was talking to were Schäuber, and Natka was there obviously first because she works for Pluswelt Promotion, and Peter, the guy who runs the whole thing, like the local club owner who does these shows at the circus. And so there's the first, 10, 15 minutes where you kind of have to be like on the up and up and be friendly to everyone, which is totally fine, but it's just, I don't know. It's part of the thing, but it's useless waste of time in these situations because nothing's going to get done. So then we walk in and look at the whole setup, and the local crew are good. So they already did the setup exactly like the writer said. But then we come into the venue and we notice that the idea that we originally had doesn't work there because there are additional speakers positioned in places where we didn't expect them to be. So we spent some time, maybe 20 minutes, figuring out how to change everything around so that we can have more space in the stage area and at the same time involve all the audience and at the same time have the lights positioned in the way that we had figured out earlier. And that went well. That worked really well. What else did we do? Let me think. The house guys asked if they could open doors earlier, just to accommodate the circus so that they could sell, drinks and stuff. So I said, yeah, well, I said, yeah, don't worry about it, because I didn't think that we'd take a lot of time, but we then needed more time, which on the back end added more pressure to finish the sound check early. Because I also wanted Schäuber to still get a sound check, because it sucks if you don't get one. What else happened? Our sound check actually went really well. I really liked the new ambience mics. I thought I sounded very, very well voice-wise at that time, and so I was happy with that. For some reason, the LEDs didn't work, and at that point, this was the thing where so many things were happening at the same time that I was getting overwhelmed is not the right word, but I was on one hand trying to focus on things, and at the same time some person always wanted something, so that I had to start prioritizing. And Spencer and Joe were trying to figure out how to make the LED stuff work, and I made the decision not to care, because the camera setup was more important than the LEDs. So with hindsight, I should have just said use a different computer, and that would have been such an easy fix. But with hindsight, you're always smarter. In that situation, I made a decision. It was the right decision to focus on something else, because the priority was different. It was the wrong decision with regards to the solution of the problem. Well, you live, you learn. And then just went to the hotel real quick, took a shower, got my hair done, and went back again. Luckily, the hotel was really, really close, like by car, 3, 4, 5 minutes. And then it was already showtime. I mean, that was literally, I just, compressed 5 hours into 10 minutes already. Okay, well, 5 hours into 10 minutes. And that was 8:30, and we started, and for some reason I had a lot of energy. It was good. It was very good. Show went really well. The audience was nuts. I was very, very happy. There were only very few problems. My in-ear connection was terrible in the corners of the stage. So when I went to the very right side or very left, and that was simply because there was no good spot to place the receiver and the sending unit for the mic and the in-ears. It just didn't work any other way. So whenever I would go to the corners, I would have dropouts in my ears. I just decided at some point to not worry about it. Early in the show, I had to tell Xanti that she can't be filming in front of my in-ear unit, because her body would also shield the signal. And other than that, everything went really well. The floor was kind of a problem at some point, because it was like sand underneath or something, and it was like it had little holes from stepping on it and jumping, like little peaks and valleys. So later there was water on it, on the plastic cover, so it got a little complicated sometimes to make sure not to fall, but it was all right, no problem. And then when we played Vanish, apparently there's a bass frequency in Vanish that really, accumulates in this specific venue. And what you have to know is that rooms have different frequencies, and sometimes what happens is that there was a bass frequency that just kept going inside of the room and just accumulating between the different. We had 4 bass speakers in there, so most through the song there was just this big whoo going on, and nobody could have changed anything. I mean, there could have been the possibility to pull out a certain frequency, but, fuck it. So Vanish was the only song where I sang really badly, at least in the first 3/4 of the song. Later it got a little better. But, yeah, I was super, super happy with the whole show. And we did 2 encore songs. That's not normal for us either, because the crowd was so energetic. It was amazing. I did not expect that at all. So, yeah, after the show was completely done, I did not want to talk to anyone anymore. Nobody. I did, of course, but I think 3 or 4 people asked me for photos, and I said no, because I was just on the way out to the hotel. And what happens when there's like, I don't know, 10 people, as soon as you say to one person, okay, let's just take one photo real quick, then you have a queue of 20 people all of a sudden. At first, one person, then 10 people, and then everyone sees, oh, there's a photo thing going on, let's go over. And so I was just decided to, just to say no. And everyone was sweaty as fuck too, so I didn't feel like doing that, at least not on that show. And yeah, the takeaway is now that talking nonstop and organizing everything for more than 10 hours in a row is too much if you then still have to play a show. And it worked this time, but it was very, very, very stressful because the show itself on its own is so much communication. It's not the singing and the jumping. That's very easy, but the constant communication with the people in the audience and the energy that you have to put out to perform well, that's a lot. But if you have to do all the surrounding organization, it's possible, but it's not something I enjoy at all. And yeah, I'll have to figure something out in the future for stuff like that, so that I can just show up and do what I'm supposed to do, which is perform, and and then see that I focus on that and not a million other things. Anyway, merch sales were really good, so I didn't lose money on that show either, which all in all makes this a great endeavor, despite all the hectic before. FaderCast. Thank you for listening to this episode of FaderCast. If you have any questions or suggestions, please email me at contact@faderhead.com, or you can find me on Instagram at Faderhead_official, and everywhere else just under Faderhead. Please be a friend and tell a friend about this podcast, and hopefully until next time. FaderCast.